Okay, this one's coming off of Facebook Marketplace. It's a 1997 Mazda RX7 FD3S. The owner's asking $60,000. Gee, Jesus, that's a lot of money for an FD. This one's coming out of Richmond, BC. Let's get into it. Starting off with the lead picture here, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Yellow caught my eye right away. There's obviously something very special about a yellow FD in particular, thanks to Initial D. I hate yellow cars in general, but take that with a grain of salt because back in the day, I did own a yellow and black FD very similar to this one. I made a big exception because Initial D, so don't be too offended by what I just said there. Starting off with the next angle at the front, looks really good. I mean, this car is sharp, absolutely gorgeous, will catch your eye every day, probably break a lot of necks out of meat and shut it down. I love seeing the pop-up headlights in the right direction. Some people do opt for fixed headlights with FD-RX7s. I like both fixed and pop-ups, but I'm really glad this guy kept the OEM pop-ups. They look gorgeous. At first glance, it looks like it does have a feed front bumper. Very wide, very angular, very squared off over fenders on the front. Looks really good. I mean, the car, again, looks very neat under that lighting. I like it a lot. Jumping into the pictures of the wheels here, these are Mazda Speed wheels, very period correct, very Initial D, very high rated JDM spec wheels. If you're not familiar with these particular wheels or just JDM parts in general, you might look and say these are pretty ugly. But if you're a true JDM fanboy and you know what you're looking at, your appreciation for these are going to be through the roof. I'm actually really happy to see these on the car. They look very, 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 very good. I can say, though, these lug nuts kind of bring it down a little bit. I'll give a thumbs down there. I mean, that's easily fixable. Lug nuts aren't too expensive, but they definitely take away from the wheel in the car. They look very standard and not that nice. Jumping into the interior, looks pretty busy, but it looks like it's got all the right bits. So it's got a full carbon fiber interior all the way through. FD-RX7s are notorious for having very thin, wafer thin interiors. That plastic is 20-something years old now, and it is super brittle. So the fact that he replaced it all with carbon fiber doesn't surprise me, and it definitely makes it a little bit more modern. Jumping in over here to the passenger side, you do see an Apexy Power FC and Commander. Very popular choice for RX-7s and rotaries in general. I'm assuming this is going to be a boost gauge up here. Looks like it has an NRG steering wheel that's suede. One thing I'll mention about suede, as a daily driver, suede wears like hell. Not a good choice for daily driving, but if this is a weekend car, very nice to look at. Looks like it has the optional red interior carpet as well. The factory floor mats, really nice to see. All in all, interior looks tidy so far. Looks like the carbon fiber continued on to the door trim as well. Some of these JDM right-hand drive imports have these tweeters drilled into the side. I absolutely hate the look of them. They look so out of place and terrible. And if you do want to replace it and get rid of this eyesore, you do have a hole that you'll have to plug. So pick and choose your battle when it comes to that. I hate to see it there, but very typical for Japanese cars. Looks like it does have the OEM seats, and they are in great condition. So big thumbs up there. Going into the front, again, looks really good at all angles. With all the panels on this car being replaced at some point, it is nice to see that the paint matches. So that's really good. Looks like a turn signal bulb is out here, but again, no big deal. Looks like the Initial D theme is continuing onto the back with the Red Sun sticker. We've got the Mazda Speed rear wing and an OEM rear bumper that doesn't look like it's been changed. I would probably just finish this off with a nice diffuser underneath just to complete the back end. But all in all, the exhaust fitment looks really good. Wheel fitment looks great. Nice chunky tires. Looks very good on this particular FD. Very, very, very clean. Let's jump into the description here. So we got mod list, Mazda Speed wheels, Mazda Speed rear wing. Again, if those are both true Mazda Speed parts, you're talking a lot of money. HKS suspension system. I'm assuming he means coilovers. REMEMIA exhaust system. REMEMIA body kit. I'm not totally sure about that because that does look like a feed front fender. Front bumper. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Momo steering wheel. I saw a lot of NRG stickers on it and engraving, so that could be wrong. Newly rebuilt engine. Everybody with a rotary that's selling one loves to claim that the engine's rebuilt. If this guy's a true reputable seller, he'll have paperwork to back it up. If he doesn't, that price has got to come down, down, down. Carbon fiber interior bits, newly painted yellow. That explains why it looks so fantastic. Full car condition like new. Minuscule rust on chassis. As far as I know, when it comes to FD-RX7s, The chassis in general don't seem to rust a lot. So that's actually really good to see as well. It must be really minor. Modified 1-to-1 to initial D-spec. Again, the car does look a lot like the initial D1 to me. I'm not a total expert, but I would say that's pretty close to 1-to-1. Not in a hurry to sell. I wouldn't be either. The thing is absolutely gorgeous. If I didn't want to drive it anymore, I would just store it in the garage and look at it every Sunday and be pretty happy. So serious buyers only, available for viewing in Richmond. All in all, for 60 Gs, I mean, that's a pretty heavy price, but this FD is definitely a big slapper. So, I mean, this is the direction that FD RX7s are going in. So, will he get 60 Gs for it? A lot of that will kind of depend on if he has paperwork to back up the rebuilt. But generally, I mean, I'm not mad at the asking price or the car. This is a good ship.